In this video, we're jumping deep into the world of real estate. Before you jump in, there's some mistakes you need to avoid. The biggest mistake is the lack of research. Here are 5 tips that you have to avoid. Here's John. John purchased a property in a neighborhood he knew nothing about. He did not realize that the area had a high crime rate and a poor school district. This made it unattractive to potential renters and even potential owners. This is Sarah. Sarah failed to research the local market, though she had a professional agent. As a result of that, she and her family struggled to find tenants willing to pay the rent she needed to cover her expenses. Here's Michael. Michael didn't investigate the property's history before he made the purchase. He later discovered by an inspector that it had a history of structural issues and was located in a flood zone, significantly impacting its value. Here's Emily. Emily didn't consider future development plans for the neighborhood when buying her property. A new highway construction project with high rises and skyscrapers caused property values to plummet, leaving her with an underwater mortgage. One of the main reasons why rent a house for $1,500 when you can rent a 3-bedroom apartment for the same price that is brand new. Here's David. David did not research the local zoning laws before purchasing a property with plans to convert it into a multifamily dwelling. He later found out that zoning regulations prohibited such conversions, leading to legal complications and financial losses. Guys, as real estate investors, you must do the research beforehand. Let's jump right into the second biggest mistake real estate investors are doing. Big mistake number 2, not having a solid plan when in real estate investing. Let's dive into topics that you need to avoid. Here's Lisa. Lisa bought several rental properties without having a clear investment strategy. She didn't know whether she wanted to focus on short-term rentals or STR, long-term rentals or LTR, or even fix and flip. This led to a big confusion and indecision with her acquisition strategy. Here's Amanda. She started flipping houses, ended up overextending herself financially, physically, and mentally. She couldn't complete any renovations on time, resulting of decrease in profits, as well as properties sitting on the market much longer than she expected. Mistake number 3, one of the biggest and most important out of all, cash flow, overlooking cash flow, or not underwriting for cash flow. This is Tom. Tom bought a rental property without calculating his monthly expenses accurately. He underestimated the maintenance cost, the property management fees, any war chest, and this resulted in him having a negative cash flow and having financial strains. Here's Rachel. Rachel invested in a vacation rental or short-term rental property without considering seasonal fluctuations in rental demand. She didn't account for the off-season. She struggled to cover her mortgage, her payments, and other expenses that came with owning a short-term rental. She failed to evaluate the short-term rental model correctly, and this led to an ultimate problem of cash literally being wiped out of her account. She learned her lesson the hard way, and this is why you have to pay attention to your cash flow and underwrite correctly. This is Eric. Eric did not only ignore his cash flow, Eric didn't budget for unexpected repairs and maintenances when purchasing his rental property. When the property's roof started leaking, He had to dip into his personal savings. When the HVAC or HVAC, i.e., the air conditioning system, went bad, he also had to dip into his personal savings to cover the cost of repairs. This heavily impacts your cash flow and your bottom line. Make sure you are underwriting for this correctly. One of the last and final steps is underestimating the cost and the hidden cost that comes with rental properties or just real estate in general. This is Jessica. Jessica underestimated the cost of repairs when purchasing a fixer-upper property. A property she was looking to fix and flip, list on the market at retail, and hopefully get a full ask price. She thought that she could renovate the property on a tight budget, but an unexpected structural issue put that budget to a halt. As well, she was notified of a code violation, several actually, including electrical, plumbing, and as well as that foundation. This pushed her expenses beyond her initial estimates. One of the two biggest topics when it comes to cash flow should be your taxes and your insurance. These are mandatory. This is Brian. Brian did not consider the property taxes to increase when budgeting for his rental property. Though he did budget for the insurance side, he never budgeted for taxes. When the property taxes doubled due to a reassessment, his cash flow was significantly impacted, and he struggled to cover the high expenses. He tapped into his personal savings, and he ended in the red. These are the big four main mistakes that you need to avoid in real estate investing. Leave a comment below, like, subscribe, and share with a friend, colleague, or someone simply looking to get into real estate.